Spoiler alert, this fridge cooler from Bodega is pretty darn sweet. It passed all of the tests that I put it through with flying colors, and I love the versatility that it brings. So stay tuned, because we're going to be putting this cooler through its paces, testing it to see what its real-world performance actually is like. Bodega did send this out to me free of charge for review and testing, but that's all they did. I get to do and say whatever I want. Let's do a quick unboxing. There's the cooler. Inside, on both sides, there's a little drain plug in the bottom, which is handy. And this partition can easily be removed. Now here's an interesting observation. This side here has a fridge sticker, and this side over here says freezer. So it'll be interesting to see if this side, if you're doing the dual zone, if this side can only be the freezer and this side can only be the fridge, or if you can reverse it. We'll test that and see. Inside this box, we've got a power brick, AC cord to go with it, and then this is your 12 or 24 volt DC cable. We have some literature. Right here on the control panel, we do have a USB port. On this end, notice the wheels. Got a handle right here. And on this side, we kind of have a unique thing in that you can grab the handle and lift this here, or you have the extended handle to be able to pick it up and roll it on its wheels. And then right inside the door right here, we do have a nice LED light. It does say in the manual that the left zone must not be lower than that of the right zone in temperature. It means that those stickers are accurate. We're still going to test that though. In terms of length, the wheel back here protrudes further than the handle. So if we measure from the wheel over to this handle, we're approximately 28.25. Measuring from handle to handle, that's approximately 28 inches long. Overall width, approximately 13.75. Overall height, approximately 14.5. It's empty, and underneath there's the scale. This is how much it weighed on my scale. 30 pounds, 15.75 ounces. The app is very straightforward. You can adjust the temperature for the respective areas. You can see the current temperature. And then here in the features, you can change from Fahrenheit to Celsius, max or eco mode, battery protect level, and I'm not sure what the L-box switch is. Getting connected to the app was a little bit challenging. I had to use the manual mode in the manual to do it, not the automatic mode. And then I had to be sure my phone was really close to the control panel to get the cooler to pair correctly. I have removed the divider and the baskets from this cooler. And what we're going to do is we're going to do single zone mode. We're going to see how long it takes it to get down to 32 degrees from ambient air temperature. And then we are going to see how long it takes to go from 32 down to 0 degrees. Stopwatch here. Our ambient temperature is low 70s, 71 at the moment. "19 minutes, 29 seconds, and we're at 32 degrees. And our ambient air temperature is still 70.4 degrees Fahrenheit, 21.3 degrees Celsius. We'll bump this temperature down to 0. Alright, there we go. We've We've reached 0 degrees, and that took 42 minutes, pretty much on the dot. We're still in the mid-70s temperature-wise here. Next, I want to put the partition in, and we're going to set this side for 0 degrees, this side for 32 degrees, and let's see how long it takes both of those to get to temperature. And just so you can see, once again, we're in the low 70s, ambient air temperature wise, 72, 22.2 degrees Celsius. We just hit 0, as you can see, 32, still on the other side, 1 hour and 4 minutes. Now, it was an interesting thing because if you noticed in the time lapse, the left side dropped significantly down in temperature initially, and then kind of rebounded, and it took this a little longer, but it did make it, and it seems to have evened out. Let me just check one more thing. We're sitting at 32.0. I've got my thermometer, and I know that I'm letting some heat in here, but I'm going to just stick my thermocouple down in the left section. We'll let it do its thing and stabilize out, and we'll see how close it is to 32. Okay, we've let it kind of acclimate. We're reading 33.8 at the bottom of the left section. This is reading 32, so really pretty darn close. Let's switch it now to the right side. 0.6, 0.4, and 0 degrees. Now that this is sat for a minute with the lid closed and temperatures have balanced out, it went to 0 there for just a second, we've got correct reading. So it does match and can get down to 0 even with the upper section, or I'm sorry, the left section being 32. This next test is going to be kind of fun. I've got the divider here in the middle, so it's going to be dual zone. It's already cooled off, shut down here because I'm switching power sources. So I'm going to plug this into a DC power source. I've got a 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery right here. Let's go ahead and plug this in. And as you can see, our right section here is at 1 degree, left section's at 30 degrees, and I don't know if you can see, but I've set it to eco mode so that we get the longest runtime possible. Now, this is empty, so this is going to be kind of a worst case scenario situation. When you have more thermal mass inside, it stays cooler for longer, and you don't need to have the fridge or the compressor run as much to keep it cool. But we're going to run it empty to test. Notice that it's 5:48 p.m. That way we can see what time it is when we come back and see how much power it's used. We're going to be tracking this with the Victron Smart Shunt. It's sitting right there on the battery, and as you can see, it will track our kilowatt hours as well as our amp hours used. At the moment, the fridge is only consuming 2 watts at idle, so it's not running at all. Just the electronics and stuff are pulling 2 watts. So that's your phantom power draw, is 2 watts to keep the screen on and the electronics and what have you. And then also just a parameter that will help. Our ambient air temperature that we're testing this in is the low 70s, nearly 72 at this point in time. It has actually been a little over 24 hours now. 6:35, so almost 25 hours from when we started this test. But anyway, let's look at the damages here. So we have discharged a total of 38 amp hours, 0.5 kilowatt hours. That leaves, oops, pushed the wrong button here. That leaves a total of 64% remaining in the 100 amp hour battery. And that is running the right container, or right section at 0 degrees, left section at 32. Next test, notice I've removed the divider. Already cooled it down. We're gonna go to 32 degrees, so basically fridge mode in here. Like I said, I've already cooled it down, so it actually dropped below 32 for a minute here, but it is 9:51 p.m. Our Victron Smart Shunt has been reset, zeroed out, so we'll be able to see how much power it draws from the battery here. And just so everyone can see, our ambient air temperature, a little cooler tonight. Looks to be about 70, low 70s, high 60s at the moment. Basically 24 hours later, 9:47, started at 9:51 yesterday. We've got it at 32 degrees, single zone at the moment. And we've consumed 14 amp hours, 0.2 kilowatt hours. So now we're going to do single zone. We're going to push this down to 0 degrees, but just do single zone. And we're on eco mode here. So what we're going to do is let the cooler cool off to 0, and then we will reset the Smart Shunt here. It is 10:23 p.m. I'm gonna plug this 12 volt back in, and we're really close to 0. We were down to 0 a minute ago. We're in eco mode still, and we are zeroed out, so 0 amp hours consumed, 0 kilowatt hours consumed. We're gonna let this sit at 0 degrees, single zone mode, and let it run for 24 hours here and see what the results are. We are coming up on 24 hours. Again, is on 0 degrees on eco mode, and we have discharged 0.4 kilowatt hours, 32 amp hours. So actually just slightly less power consumed with the whole unit being one zone at 0 degrees than when we did the dual zone, 0 on the right and 32 on the left. Low 70s. And just quick, the unsung hero of this testing is this 100 amp hour lithium iron phosphate battery from Go Kilowatt Hour. It has done the last 3 DC tests back to back, 72 hours now, and still going strong. We've still got, what? Let's see what it says, 22% remaining. They are not sponsoring any piece of this video here today. It's a great little battery for a really good price. And be sure and get the one with the smart display with the shunt that's built into the battery. There are 2 that have a display. One is smart, one is not. I'll be sure and leave a link down below to this one that has the smart display in case you're interested. But it's done a fantastic job powering this Bodega cooler. We've got these stickers here that this left side says fridge, this right side says freezer, and in the owner's manual it says that if you're going to do the dual zone and you want a fridge section and a freezer section, the right one needs to be the colder one and not the left one. So that makes me wonder what happens if you try to make the left one colder than the right one. And so that's what we're going to test now. Put the right one to 32. It automatically changed the left one to 32. And if I try to turn it down, it won't let me. So they've actually got a hard lockout on that. So even if you tried, it won't let you do that. There you have it, the Bodega T36 12V compressor cooler. It passed all the tests without any trouble, and I'm quite impressed with how efficient it is. The form factor is also very nice, and I can't tell you how much I love the wheels for transportation. That makes it so much easier compared to other 12V compressor fridges I've used. For what you pay for this unit and what you get in return, I think is great bang for the buck. So I'll leave a link for it down in the description. Be sure and check that out. And please don't forget to give us the like and give us a subscribe. This channel thrives off of you, the audience. It gives me the motivation to continue making these videos and putting them on YouTube where they're free for you to have easy access. So liking, subscribing, free to you, and it really benefits the channel. Also, please leave any comments and thoughts down below. I love hearing from you. I try to respond to as many of you as possible, and I would love to hear ideas, thoughts, and your take and thoughts on how this cooler performed. We'll catch you next time.